You want to hit the ground running in Shadow of the Erdtree, don't you? Whether that means you've literally hit the ground after being decked by a giant wicker man, or are running from whatever the hell this is, I'm Zoe Delahanty-Light, and I am here to help you prepare, mentally and emotionally, for Elden Ring's Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Using our Eurogamer preview from the wonderful Emma Kent, I've got 6 ways you can prep for the DLC releasing, so here we go. To start the Shadow of the Erdtree, you need to make sure you've defeated both Radahn and Mog. Yes, Radahn too, and no, I don't know why, but I have been assured by those who previewed the DLC that it was made very clear that Radahn needs to be dead for the DLC to start. So no ifs or buts here, both the child of Rennala and Radagon, and the child of Marika and Godfrey have to be dead for the DLC to be open to you. Once you've put them both under the ground, talk to an NPC named Lena, who you can find at Mog's temple, then hold Miquella's withered hand and be transported to this other realm and, more specifically, the opening area named Gravesite Plain. Now, this might sound like an obvious point, but I do have statistics to back up why it's worth mentioning that you have to beat Mog. Steam has an achievement which you can only get once you've vanquished him, and only 37% of Steam players have said achievement, which means 63% of people playing Elden Ring on PC can't access the DLC. No idea what the statistics are like for console, but please heed my warning. Mog has to be 6 feet under for you to be able to even start Shadow of the Erdtree. One of the new builds available for sorcerers is centered around the mysterious Dryleaf Arts, which is martial arts adjacent in theme. Fighting with kicks and punches lies at the heart of the Dryleaf Arts, similar to Sekiro's Senpou monks, so I would recommend picking up Sekiro again to practice its trademark rapid hand-to-hand combat to prepare yourself for martial arts lands in between edition TM. Dryleaf Arts are best used against regular enemies, where it felt very easy to chain attacks and essentially stunlock opponents, according to Emma Kent. There's also just something very cathartic about giving Elden Ring's enemies a good old punch to the face. Against bosses, the flurry of kicks and punches is harder to finesse, so trust me, it will take practice within the DLC itself to truly master Elden Ring's martial arts. Elden Ring came out 2 years ago, so I do not blame you if it's been a while since you've had to stroll through the lands between. No shame here. However, retraining that muscle memory of yours is going to be important if you want to minimize that frustrating warming up period in Soulsborne games. Shadow of the Erdtree is going to hit hard the second you take Miquella's hand, so I advise refamiliarizing yourself with Elden Ring's basic combat before the DLC comes out. Shadow of the Erdtree is for high-level players, there's just no escaping it. For context, you have to defeat Mog to get to Miquella, and Mog's fight is recommended for those at level 90 to 120, so you'll want to be around that level roughly to take on Shadow of the Erdtree. Ways to make things easier on you are available within DLC itself if you're a bit on the low side, such as Scattertree Blessings and Revered Spirit Ash Blessings, items that can both be found throughout the Land of Shadow. The former bolsters your character's ability to deal and negate damage, and the latter improves the power of your summoned spirits and torrent. Much like a Sacred Tear, both of these blessings can be activated at Sites of Grace, but they only apply to your character when you are in the Land of Shadow. Forgo those blessings to make the game harder, hence perfect for providing challenge to high-level players, while lower-level players have an option to boost their power if they so wish. Shadow of the Erdtree brings a wave of new recipes with it, so you're going to want to make sure you've stocked up on ingredients. There are going to be ingredients unique to the DLC, of course, but better to be safe than sorry, right? One recipe Eurogamer's Emma Kent noticed was appetizingly named the Pot of Flies, found in one of the plague-filled bug villages in the Gravesite Plains. So, if you want to save time farming ingredients, just make sure you have the basics ready to go. The first two major bosses of Shadow of the Erdtree have fire and lightning attacks, so focus on creating items that minimize that kind of damage. Later on, some other bosses, who shall remain nameless, have fire and ice attacks, so similarly, you're going to want to have items that negate some of that elemental damage. A fair few enemies in Shadow of the Erdtree necessitate mastering attacking on Torrent in order to beat them. Despite the fact that I am a horse girl at heart, I am someone who always prefers getting on my feet to take on an enemy as swinging from horseback challenges and vanquishes my coordination. So, if that sounds relatable, you and me both are going to have to learn how best to use Torrent as a four-legged envoy of death. Torrent is especially crucial to defeating this Wicker Man type enemy, which is one of the first enemies you'll see when you enter the Land of Shadow. Very similar to the Tree Sentinel. Remember running into him for the first time? Not a good time. This monstrosity is massive, super tanky and powerful, so the key is apparently to use Torrent to avoid its flame-stamping attacks and to target the legs, just like golems. Then, when it's toppled, get off Torrent and wail on it with a sword. Best of luck. So, those are the ways you can prepare for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree before it comes out. When the DLC is actually here, oh my god, I just got goosebumps, we'll have a ton of videos out, including tips, secrets, and of course, from yours truly, Zoe Delahanty Light, lore dumps. How are you feeling about the DLC so far, and are you planning on getting it? If you're watching this video, I'm assuming the answer is yes, but hey, let me know in the comments down below. Finally, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me, and if you enjoyed, or liked, or honestly even just tolerated this video, feel free to chuck me a like on YouTube or a comment on the Eurogamer website, as I do use those likes to determine whether there's any future interest in covering whatever topic I've been talking about, though it is Elden Ring, so I'm going to take that as a given. Now, I'm going to go and continue getting my ass kicked in Elden Ring so I can step right into the Land of Shadow of the Erdtree without missing a beat, so I will see you folks next time.